Hey guys, in this video I sit down with a local insurance expert to answer the question, do EVs cost more to insure than their gas-powered counterparts? Stay tuned. Matt, I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time to talk about insurance and electric vehicles. Give me a little bit of background on yourself. How long have you been in insurance? The important stuff.
Sure. So I've been a State Farm agent for about 2.5 years now. I've been with the company almost 3 years, and yeah, I'm loving it.
A part of what you do deals with like antique vehicles and kind of vehicles that are not the norm. You're used to that, even though you'll do everything, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With electric vehicles, I know I wanted to get into almost dispelling the myth that's out there that they cost so much more to insure than the gas the vehicles. And what I've found is it depends on how you interpret the data. Have you seen kind of a similar thing?
No. In fact, what I'm finding is that there's really not a big difference in them.
Okay.
We've run some quotes. We have several Teslas insured and some BMW i3s and stuff like that just in our book here, and prices on them aren't that bad. I mean, they're more expensive than the average car only because the price of those vehicles is significantly more than an average car.
Okay, so they're worth
more, yes.
In the research that I was trying to do in getting ready for speaking with you, of course, you know, what does everybody do, right? We go to Google and we type in EVs, cost of insurance, and I mean, I was flooded with, they cost 20% more, this, that, and everything else. What I found when I was reading all these articles is that really they were comparing, for example, the car that I drive, the 2016 Chevy Spark EV. If you compare that to a gas-powered Spark of the same year, it does end up being about, I think it was like 19% more is what I found on one of the sites. Is that basically just because the car is worth more? I mean, from an insurance standpoint, what do insurance companies really look for? What do they care about when it comes to the cost of insuring a vehicle?
The main things they're looking for is the experience factors of that car. So how often does it get in a wreck? And a lot of that based on the people that drive it. So there are some demographic factors built into that as well. But also the likelihood of it getting in a crash, so based on the safety features. But then really, what does it cost to repair it once it's in that accident?
Okay. The chance of it getting into an accident, which of course is hard to predict, but I'm sure the analytics and algorithms and all of that are built into that. But then once it has gotten into an accident, how much is it going to cost to actually repair?
Well, knock on wood, we've not had many claims on the EVs that we do insure. So we recently had one with BMW, and the windshield was just a windshield, and just because it was a specialty part, carbon fiber roof and A-pillars and stuff, it required some special mechanic, your regular glass company didn't want to touch it.
Sure.
So it was a little more, but the insurance on it overall isn't bad. So in fact, I ran a quote for you, as you asked, and honestly, I couldn't find a discernible difference between an EV Spark and a gas-powered Spark. And then just for fun, I quoted as well a BMW 330 versus a Tesla 3. Similar price.
Sure, about $40,000 for each of them, I think.
Give or take. And I did the just a kind of a standard one, just to compare, and honestly the differences were minute. And in different parts of the country have different rates, and certain insurance companies have different experience with different, the amount of cars, but yeah, I mean, everything we're seeing, there really is no difference.
Okay, well that's of course great news. If somebody is looking for insurance for an EV or even a hybrid, what generally would be your basic recommendation on what to look for?
I mean, really just look for a reputable insurance company. Obviously, and most of them are very good, but I was doing some research for this. There really isn't any differences that we could find. I mean, there's some things to keep in mind. You definitely probably want to have rental coverage on the vehicle.
Sure.
And the reason being, it's kind of might be more important on the EV versus a gas-powered cars. Parts availability and the amount of shops that can fix the vehicle are limited. So an EV could potentially be in the shop for longer.
So then you'd want to have a longer, like coverage for the rental
Yep.
vehicle.
Yeah, each insurance company usually has a set, a fixed amount. So ours is $900 per incident.
Okay.
Some are $600. Some are, I think I've even heard there's some even higher. But yeah, so I mean, as long as you don't go overboard, that should be
sure.
You don't get a super performance car as a rental. It'll usually last you for quite a while.
How about towing? Some EVs require like a flatbed to tow them. Does that change from the insurance aspect? Like, do you have to increase your towing coverage to compensate for that kind of thing?
Not really. I mean, the way we sell it is it's just a flat fee. So we'll pay a flat amount per incident, regardless of whether it's a lockout, whether it's a tow, whether it's a 1 mile tow or a 100 mile tow. There's only so much that, there's a certain amount that we'll pay per incident.
All right.
So that may be a consideration that you may want to get a supplemental roadside, possibly, but I don't even really see the need for that as well.
Right, and then a lot of the manufacturers, while the car's under warranty, I
Absolutely.
know have some coverage to be able to take care of that too.
Yep.
Tesla is actually really good for making sure that they can get the car to a certified repair center if need be.
One thing I did think about, with insuring EVs is just keep in mind the cost of the vehicle you're buying. So what we see a lot of times is people just want the cheapest insurance, which is state minimums, which any insurance you get, at least with us, would be enough to fix your car. But let's say you have state minimum insurance and you hit another $100,000 Tesla S, and you wouldn't have enough insurance to cover that. So it has nothing to do with the specific car, just the value of the car.
So if you got into an accident with somebody else that had a vehicle that was worth a lot more.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you have adequate liability coverage and property damage coverage as well. You don't want to cheap out on your liability limits, because that's, you can quadruple them, and you think your price would quadruple. It doesn't. I mean, the price difference is so minuscule, it's laughable. And when we show people the difference between having state minimums and having literally 10 times that, they're like, oh, my price has barely changed. I'm like,
sure,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one thing to keep in mind, that now that you were driving a more expensive car, you just want to keep in mind that what if you hit someone else that had an expensive car as well. So that's all.
So I want to actually take the time to thank you for sitting down and going through a little bit of this. You had mentioned being able to give you a call. Do you mind sharing your phone number? And
sure. I mean, the easiest way to get me is 745-AUTO. It's 745-2886. You can text that number, and it'll come to our systems. And you can email me at matt@mattescobar.com. And that's the same as our website, just mattescobar.com, which will link, get you right to the quoting tool as well if you want to.
I saw you were on Facebook.
Yep, I'm Facebook as well, so you can reach out to me there and just get my contact information.
Okay.
And it's really easy.
Very good. Well, that's easy enough. Well, thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate it.
Appreciate the time.
All right, well, there you go. EVs do not cost more to insure than gas-powered vehicles. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.